welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora here inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We are inside these Great Lakes Honda City Studios on Wake Up Call, and Great Lakes Honda City coming to you on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. You can go and visit Great Lakes Honda City Monday through Saturday for sales and service. Make sure you let them know the DT sent you, and you can go to greatlakeshondacity.com to get more information, including to have a sneak peek at their inventory. And like I said, I drove by there recently. A bunch of cars were off the lot, so make sure you get there before yours is gone. From the Ridgeline to the Accord, the Civic, the HRV, the Pilot, as well as my favorite, which is the Honda CRV. And I have a new 2025 Honda CRV, which I absolutely love driving in, love coming home to. You know, I travel a lot and I rent a lot of different cars. And when I come home to my car and I want to see it, I want to sit in it, I know I'm going to be safe and feel good in it and have good gas mileage, I could appreciate that, right? When you leave home and you come back to a car after a nice vacation and you're like, hey, I actually want to be in this car. So thank you to Great Lakes Honda City for all the work that they've done over the years. Go and visit them today. Find your next ride, and we appreciate them for being our exclusive studio partner here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. With that being said, thanks to everybody that's watching and listening up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You are finding us everywhere and anywhere that you are by simply going to Facebook.com or YouTube.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com for internet streaming radio. We have a jam-packed show here today. We have our 3 Friday signature segments, the Annoying Moment of the Week, as well as Lead and the Top Dog of the Week. And we have 2 special guests today, Cole Swider, who played for the Syracuse Orange men's basketball program, and most recently has played in the NBA for the Toronto Raptors. We'll get in touch with him at the top of the second hour around 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and we'll round out the show with an all-new Bobcat Buzz exclusive in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Bryant Stratton College Syracuse Bobcats. I will have Tim Marchisotto on the broadcast today, the new Bryant Stratton Syracuse women's soccer head coach will be joining me for his first interview since taking that position. So a lot of great stuff coming up. We're going right into it with the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It is what happy tastes like.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The Annoying Moment of the Week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. The Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. You know that this is our longest standing segment, and it comes from our longest standing partner in Carvel DeWitt, where I have my own Sunday, the DT Dolphin, an ode to the Lemoyne Dolphins. You can go and try that today and any day of the week. And if you go on Wednesdays, the DT Dolphin is buy one, get one. So you could go there and get 2 for the price of 1 every Wednesday at Carvel DeWitt exclusively on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. My annoying moment of the week this week. I've had a bunch of different things that I can potentially go to and think about here. I would have to say that one of my annoying moments is, I would say, looking up airline prices sometimes. You know, when you get a one-way ticket and they know that there's people out there that need the ticket, and the ticket's like $1,000 to fly from Atlanta to Syracuse, or $2,000. I find that to be ridiculous. I think, if you're a plane and let's say you have 70 seats, right, and 65 are filled, you have 5 open seats, you want to sell those seats. So if you want to sell those seats, it's kind of like right before a game, right? It's an $80 ticket to get into Florida State, let's say, and it's 5 minutes before the game. Well, maybe you sell it for 60, maybe you sell it for 40, because you want to make some money, because once the game starts, those tickets aren't really worth anything, right? Because people want to get into the game. So maybe after like the first quarter, you're not selling anything. So you get a little bit better with the pricing. So let's say that an airline's charging like $800 for a flight. Well, it's an hour before this flight's going to take off, or a day before, whatever it may be. Maybe you make it $600. Maybe you make it $550. But you don't jack it up to $1,000 or $2,000. I think it's really unfortunate because obviously traveling by air is the fastest way to fly, or fastest way to travel, I should say. And it is the fastest way to fly, unless you're in like the military. So, but being on a plane, yeah, I love to fly. And I feel like we should just make prices maybe a little bit better for the customers that are out there. So I will say that. My other annoying moment of the week, going through this week and thinking about a bunch of different things. I mean, obviously the fact that the roads are ripped up all over Syracuse is an easy one to talk about. And I've talked about it before when we've done live on-site, on-location broadcasts, is just, I mean, what are we doing? I understand that we're improving our roads, but all of them at the same time. And ripping, I mean, again, when I see it, maybe it's a good idea, right? Don't knock it till you try it type of thing. But taking out part of the highway in downtown Syracuse just seems astronomically stupid. And I don't understand it. And I feel like people have made decisions for Syracuse that don't know anything about upstate New York. And maybe they've been here, maybe they haven't. But I feel like the people representing our state of New York don't know upstate New York. I feel like we don't have enough representation. And it frustrates me. It frustrates me, honestly, to the point of thinking of running someday. Not because I would ever want to hold a political office, but because I want to have the power to make positive change. And I'm the type of person where I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to work to do, I'm going to do the right thing every time. I'm going to sit in that room, and my conscience is not going to allow me to do this. Oh, yeah, I ran on doing the right thing, and then I have all these people that gave me money for my campaign, and now I have to rub their shoulders and blah, blah, blah. No, to me, it's about doing the right thing, and it's about doing the right thing every time. Am I perfect? No. Have I made mistakes? Yes. Do I have sins that I brought to God? Absolutely. I just don't go out there with the want to do the wrong thing. And I feel like in the state of New York, upstate does not have representation. I think New York City runs us, and what do they know about us? We're drastically different. And you got millions of people on that tiny little island, and I love to visit it. And don't get me wrong, there's things I love about New York City. But I also love my home, and I love the rolling hills, and I love the grass, and I love the beautiful sights and God's nature and the blue collar that we have here, and the hardworking people that work on the island, but also the hardworking people that live in upstate New York. And we make up, when you look at geographically the size of the state of New York, we are the overwhelming size. And then there's that little piece. And I'm like, yeah, but Dan, in that little piece, that little island, that's where most of the people are. Okay, but you don't have a state where you can't represent all of the state. And I don't think that that's fair. So I would say an annoying moment of the week for me is that people are really frustrated in upstate New York right now and central New York with the travel. And not all of us wanted this to happen. Not all of us understand it. And the more people I've talked to, the less people understand why we've done this, and the less people wanted this to happen, the less people enjoy it, and the less people are agreeing with it. So, again, a decision's made for us, and who consulted Central New York? Did they talk to us? I mean, I don't remember there being an open forum in downtown Syracuse that I could go to. So I think there was like a Save the I-81 project. I think there were people that were pro taking down I-81 in the city. But I don't know of a time where I really feel like we were represented. And maybe that's on me. Maybe there was a meeting or two. But this just seems like a really ridiculous decision. And again, when you talk about infrastructure, when people run in political campaigns, they always talk to us about infrastructure, right? And we sit here and we say to ourselves, what the heck does that mean? It sounds like Are we repairing a building? Are you talking about infrastructure figuratively, that we need to repair, Congress, or we need to repair the way that things look? Like, how are we describing what infrastructure truly is? And I feel like they just, kind of throw terms at people, and we don't necessarily, do we know what the heck is going on half the time? And I just, I feel for the people of my community. I care about the people of my community. And I care about the people, honestly, of every community, because everyone's a child of God. And when it comes to where I'm born and where I came from, obviously, that has an important place in my heart. And having that important place in my heart, I think it's imperative that we speak up if we don't understand something. I think it's imperative that you speak up at any time in your life if you feel the need to and you feel like it's the right thing to do. I think you have every right to speak your conscience and speak your mind. And in this case, looking at the way that things are right now, I really don't understand why we had to repair 481, 81, 690, 695, and every other bridge. And, there's construction at the airport right now. And on top of construction at the airport, there's construction on a bridge that helps to get you to the airport. So I just feel like we're in a place right now where I'm really trying to understand why we're doing what we're doing the way that we're doing it at the time that we're doing it, all at the same time. And where are the answers, right? Where is the information as to why we've been put in such a situation that so many people have been inconvenienced at the same time? And I mean, in order for me to get to my event last night, I could drive multiple different ways. And I was like, well, if I go this highway, I don't think there's construction going on here, but I know that I went through the city, and I know that when I went through the city a few days ago, it went down to one lane. And if I go this way, I'm going to have to go by the mall and I'm going to have to go through the city. But if I go this way, then I can alleviate all that and essentially come at it from the other side. So that's the way that I went. And I ended up getting to my event like 23 minutes early, which is great. But if I went the other way, I could have been early, I could have been on time, I could have been 20 minutes late. And to have to think about that now, right? In Syracuse, we've been kind of spoiled. You hop in your car and you know that everything's 12 minutes away or 15 minutes away or at max 20, 22 minutes away. You could get from here to here. You can get across town. You can get from, you can get from Destiny to Fayetteville in this amount of time. You can get from Erie Boulevard to Camillus in this amount of time. And so, we have been spoiled by the fact that even when we have traffic, it's not that bad. And now it's ridiculous. Like, I was having dinner with my buddy, and I think that I got there, I want to say I was like 16 minutes late because I was sitting in one lane traffic that's supposed to be 3 lanes and ramps. The ramps are gone in a lot of cases, and I'm in 1 lane traffic, and I just, texted him and said, I'm trying to get there. Like, this should be nothing for me to get there, but I was just kind of waiting to get there. And thankfully he had time and I had time, but I just feel like the construction going on right now, even if it all needed to be done, did we need to do it all at the exact same time? Probably not. And I just think that that's kind of ridiculous. So I would mention that as an annoying moment of the week. I would also mention the tush push, which I had brought up with Papa Joe yesterday. The fact that a bunch of teams in the NFL wanted to get rid of the tush push, to me, I mean, have we not seen this in football at times, right? A running back's running, a quarterback's running, and an offensive lineman gets behind him and pushes him. A tight end gets behind him and pushes him. A quarterback gets behind his running back and tries to push him in the end zone. We've seen that before. So what's the problem? You know what I mean? It's like, it's something that we've seen. And if we get rid of the tush push, then does that get rid of all of those plays? Because they were talking about if you're pushing a guy or pulling a guy in any direction and doing this and that, like, they were trying to eradicate this. So here's my thing. If the Green Bay Packers apparently brought this to the NFL that they wanted to ban the tush push. So here's my thing. If Jordan Love is behind Josh Jacobs and Josh Jacobs is fighting for a first down and he bumps him and Josh Jacobs goes forward, Does that get eradicated? I mean, does that get deleted too? Is that gone? Can you not pull, push, bump anything to get somebody in? And the thing is again, you're in the NFL. Okay, these are supposed to be the best players in America, at least. So you don't have offensive linemen that can push a guy a half a yard. You don't have a quarterback that can jump. You don't have a running back that, and I know quarterbacks get older and some of them aren't as mobile. Some of them aren't mobile in general. But, I mean, think about what we're talking about here. If a running back in the NFL can't get a yard, if an offensive line can't push a half a yard, if your quarterback can't muscle his way through, I mean, listen, there's 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL, right? There's 5 offensive linemen on each starting lineup in the NFL. And when it comes to running back, I mean, most teams have 2 or 3 now, but it's really hard. For every guy that's on an NFL roster, there's thousands upon potentially tens of thousands that wanted that job. So Philly knows how to do it, and they do it well. But here's my question. Why does the rest of the NFL look like they're not good at it? Is Philly's offensive line that amazing? Now, keep in mind, Philly's offensive line had injuries to their center this year. And they lost Jason Kelsey because he retired. And they still won a Super Bowl. And they still tush-pushed. So, I mean, to get rid of that rule, I just thought it was other people in the NFL just complaining and moaning about something that they can't stop. You know what I mean? Like, when somebody does something new and unique and original, there's typically someone trying to stop it. I mean, I live in that. I'm not your typical media person. I like being unique. I like being original. I am a creator, not a copier. So I'm not looking to anybody else to show me the way. I'm looking to God to show me the way. And when I'm creating in my life, I want to challenge myself. I want to do something that's not out there. I want to do something that's innovative and different and unique. So we just did that with CNS at the high school. Allegedly, in central and upstate New York, there's never been a high school that's ever had a live podcast. And we did that. I was asked to come in and teach the class with Tracy Lieberman, who does a fantastic job with the media art program at Cicero North Syracuse High School. And her and I worked together with the students, and we did something that was unprecedented. But 2 months from now, 2 weeks from now, 2 years from now, I wouldn't be surprised if some media member in Syracuse goes to a school, sees what I did, they do it, and then they pitch it as the inaugural thing, the first ever, and they just hope that nobody saw mine. And they're like, well, you know what, we're going to put it on TV, and we're going to do this, we're going to get other media members around it, and we're going to drown out Dan, pretend like he didn't do it, and say that we did it first. I mean, that's an annoying moment all the time, but that's reality. And I told the kids at CNS, I told them that day, I said, there are 2 types of people in media, creators and copiers. And I said, congratulations, because today you are creators. And I only believe in being a creator, not a copier. I don't live in that world. And so I think with the tush push, it was just, okay, so what? You don't want to copy it? You don't want to try to do it because you don't think you'll do it as well? You don't think you have the manpower to do it? I mean, what's the reason why you're so mad at the tush push? Like, why does that bother you, this play? It's a football play, right? Because when people did flea flickers, there was probably somebody back then who was like, you can't do that. And when people did reverses and double reverses, you can't do that. You know, when there's a certain thing set up and then somebody finds a different angle on it, a different way to approach it, there's always going to be somebody that says, I don't like it. I don't think you should do that. When I went to the internet, people were like, that's crazy. It's stupid. It's never going to succeed. You can't succeed on the internet. It's fake radio. And now look at the internet. Now look at what people are doing. The people that probably said that I was a fraud and a phony and it's not a real business and there's never any way he's going to be successful, now they're streaming live on the internet. Ain't that funny? And they probably deleted all those posts or just hope you don't see them. So, you know, again, there's creators in life and there's copiers. And I think with the tush push, with things that I've done in my life, with other people that have been innovative, think about it. They said the earth was flat. And the people that said, no, it's round, those people were called crazy. And what happened to all those people? What happened to all the flat earthers? Right? What happened with their thoughts? Did they just disappear and hope that you didn't hear it? What about Thomas Edison saying, I'm going to create light? And they're like, you can't create light. God created the sun. There's no way that you can make light happen. And he's like, okay, watch me. And now how many people try to take credit for Thomas Edison's work? Right? So, and then look at Walt Disney. They said there's no way that there will ever be a year-round amusement park. It's a stupid idea. It's never going to work. And I said 700, and I thought that was the number they told me, but I just heard recently that he heard over 400 no's. Think about society right now if they got one no, if they got one person that disliked their video on YouTube and the tears that come from that, which is ridiculous. Because some people just dislike your video so that they can be that, right? Marvel puts out a video, 1 million thumbs up and 1,038 thumbs down. Not because they're necessarily people that don't like it, but maybe they just don't like Marvel movies. Maybe they don't like comic books. Maybe they're just jerks that are bored and they have a terrible life that they've chosen to have. You know what I mean? So haters don't come from people that are working hard. Haters don't come from people that are happy. Haters don't come from people that know who they are necessarily and know what they want to do in their life. Haters come from people saying, I don't like that other people are happier than I am. That's all they are. That's all they are. So if somebody's out there commenting on your social media or somebody's, saying something to you and this and that, or they're bullying you, that's because you have something in you that they don't see in them. And I can tell you this, the people that bully you, they don't end up in the front of the line. They never do. And if you succumb and you bully them back, well, you're going to get to the back of the line too. You got to be the bigger person. And in the case of the NFL, 22 teams said, we don't want the tush push. And they needed 24. And 9 other teams joined the Philadelphia Eagles. So it was a vote of 22-10. If 2 more had gone the other way, then, we're looking at a place where it's 24-8 and it would have passed. They needed at least 24 out of 32 NFL teams to pass it. And they didn't have it. And I'm happy that they didn't have it, honestly, because it's not a bad play, right? It's not a bad play. I don't see anything that they're doing that's wrong. And it's, they're grabbing the jersey of their own teammate. That's not holding. You can't hold your own teammate. So, I don't see anything wrong with it. I consider it an annoying moment because I think that the NFL just doesn't like the fact that Philadelphia did something better than everybody else, and they've consistently done it better than everybody else. And so far, nobody's really been able to stop it. And if they have stopped it, they haven't stopped it consistently. So tough nuggies, you got to deal with it. That's how I deal. That's how I see it. Is they created something, they did something their own way. They're really good at it, and I'm not surprised that there's someone out there doing something better than other people, and they don't like it, or they're doing something innovative and other people don't like it, or they've figured out a way to be unique in a world that just copies each other and people don't like it. So are we going to see more tush push from other teams this year? I think so. Are you going to see it from the other 9 teams that voted to keep it? I would think so. The Ravens chose to keep it. They're a running team. Even though Lamar Jackson is a really good quarterback. I wonder who told you that many years ago. Sorry, just clearing my throat. But Lamar and his group, Trevor Lawrence and Jacksonville, they voted to keep it. The Jets voted to keep it with Justin Fields. So we shall see, right? But again, in this world that we live in, creators and copiers, and the ones that end up copying you are the ones that complain and moan about you creating something that they didn't think of. So I say live on, Philly. Fly, Eagles, fly. Do your thing. They're not even my team, right? They're not even. Everybody knows I'm a Jags fan, and I also like the Cowboys, but fly, Eagles, fly, baby. Do your thing. Enjoy your life. And haters gonna hate. That just means you're doing something right. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. This has been the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. The longest-standing Carvel franchise in America is right here in Central New York, and you can go there exclusively for the DT Dolphin and enjoy that today. And it's never too early for ice cream, and they open at 11, so you can go in there and treat yourself today. Who said that you can't have dessert first? Whoever did. Well, I won't tell them if you won't that you go and have it today. Go enjoy some Carvel DeWitt. We'll be back right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We are here with you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, right here inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Great Lakes Honda City, our exclusive studio partner, is where I've gotten all my vehicles for over a decade. You knew them as Honda City of Liverpool. They're now Great Lakes Honda City, and they're on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. You could go online to GreatLakesHondaCity.com to get a sneak peek of their inventory, and you can head there Monday through Saturday. Let them know that DT sent you there. With that being said, next piece of today, lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver is our acronym and what it means. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and the wonderful team led by my brother, Jim Rusakowski. Today's topic, the company you keep. This is very important. If you don't think it is, it's very important. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something. So some people say to me, hey, you know what, Dan? Yeah, okay. All my friends are like this. All my friends are da-da-da-da-da. But I'm not. So I said to them, okay. If all your friends were cops, right? And y'all dressed up, let's say y'all dressed up like cops. And you say, well, yeah, they're cops, but I'm not. But we all dress up like them. What do you think people think you are? If you're surrounded by people that are dramatic, right? You're surrounded by drama all the time, just drama people. And then you say, well, I'm not dramatic. But the four friends that you hang out with are all dramatic. What do you think people think you are? You are the company you keep. Because if you think if you're a positive person and you're around a bunch of negative people, do you think that eventually that might rub off on you a little bit? That you might get a little bit negative? You might get a little bit down? If you're around a bunch of positive people and they're positive all the time, you don't think that positivity might rub off on you a little bit? You end up being the company you keep. What you surround yourself with, that's what other people think you are. Listen, a total stranger is going to see you around certain type of people. And if you're around those, like if you're not a party person and you're not a person that's like out there cheating and drinking and being crazy, but you're surrounded by people who cheat and drink and are crazy, a man who's looking across the room at 5 women and sees all these women, falling all over themselves, this, that, and whatever, and just being very overly affectionate with total strangers, they might think like, yeah, I want to talk to that girl. She seems pretty normal, but she's with these girls. So, I mean, if she's cool with that, then maybe she'd cheat on me too. We see people and we look at who's around you. And I'm not saying you shouldn't see a person for who they are, but who you surround yourself with to a total stranger, we have 2 seconds, right? We're walking by you. So, like, I look at it like this. If there's a table full of racist people and I'm sitting at that table, people that don't know me are going to walk by that table and they might know that table of people. And they might go, well, Dan is obviously racist. Or if he's not racist, he's okay with it. Like, bare minimum, he's okay with it because we know how these people talk. We come here every Wednesday. We see them at lunch at the diner, and they're just saying racist stuff. So if somebody else is sitting at the table, well, that must be another person that is okay with this behavior, or they do this behavior. So it's really vital for your own sanity and your health that you look at the company you keep. And you have to remember that people are going to make judgment calls. Even if you're not one who judges, other people will. And I was sitting at a table where racism was openly welcomed. I got up from that table. They said something about one of my good friends. And I was appalled, but not surprised, because they had said other things over the span of years. And I just thought to myself, I don't ever want to eat with these people. Like, I don't want to eat at this table again. I don't ever want to be around this again. It's not okay. It's not normal. I'm the only one speaking up. And I can't, in good conscience, sit here and listen to this. I can't listen to one of my so-called friends spitting on one of my other friends. So I'm not going to do it. Just like I wouldn't listen to that friend that they just said something about, talk about them. So when I think about the people I surround myself with, I have no yes people in my life. I have nobody in my life that says, you're right all the time. Oh my gosh, you're great. No, I have people in my life that when I'm wrong, they're not mean. They're constructive. There's constructive criticism. There's destructive criticism. Destructive criticism are the people that swear at you, yell at you, tell you that you're stupid, you're an idiot, you're wrong, what the hell's the matter with you? Constructive criticism is somebody saying, hey, I know that you normally try this and you do this way, but what if you tried something else? Or did you think about this? Or you've always told me that this is what you care about, but you have been hanging around with this person that's totally opposite. You know, if this is what matters to you, then why are you hanging around with this person? And I'm a person that welcomes people that, to talk with me. I will welcome advice from a total stranger. I'll welcome advice from somebody I love dearly. And I always consider the source, because my dad's taught me to do that over the years, and my mom too. And I just think it's really important to pay attention to who's around you. So I don't have any yes people in my life. I don't have anybody that follows me blindly and, yeah, whatever you say, Dan. I have people that are like, hey, did you forget to do this? Hey, did you remember that you said you were going to have this ready? Hey, did you get this done yet? Did you make this phone call? Why are you hanging around somebody that seemingly does not have the values that you have? Don't you know that you should be? I just had a friend tell me recently, don't you know that you deserve to be treated better? And so you hear all of that, And that's constructive. Those are people that really care about you. You know, I can't sit around and watch somebody be abused. I can't sit around and watch like a good person be attacked and yelled at and put down. I don't like seeing people that are acting badly. I don't like seeing people attack them. You know, there's someone who bullied me in school that is going through a part of their life right now that I would imagine is probably very difficult, that I would never, ever want to go through, and I would never put myself in. I prayed for him. I didn't, sucks to be you. I prayed for him. There was a part of me that was like, wow, karma, I guess. And then there's a part of me going, you know what? I don't want to delight in karma. I'm going to pray for him. And I prayed for him. I prayed for him. I prayed for his family, his loved ones, and I prayed for everyone that he affected and their loved ones, because they say that love doesn't delight in evil, and I'm a person of love, not of hate. So I'm not going to rejoice in evil. I'm not going to rejoice in somebody being punished. I don't want to focus on the wicked being punished. I want to focus on being a good person and getting to heaven. Right? I don't want to look at like, oh, you didn't make it. And I've made comments before. I've been angry before. And I have, said things before that I shouldn't have said. Where, somebody who's not being a nice person, I've been like, all right, well, obviously we're not going to the same place when we die. And then I thought about it and I'm like, you know what? I want them to go to heaven. I don't want God to have any open seats at his table. So even though these people don't treat me fairly or kindly, I'm going to pray for them. I'm going to pray for a change of heart. I'm going to pray that they turn toward God and hope that they find their way to him and that they make it to heaven. Because if I'm in heaven, what do I care who else is there? What bad's going to happen to me in heaven? So, that's something that I think about, right? Is it's important how you treat people, and it's important how people treat you. It's also important not just like the optics of the outside of somebody not knowing you, looking at a bunch of people that act the same and you say you're different, but you're all hanging out together. It's also for your own health. If you hang around a bunch of dramatic people, you're surrounded by drama that weighs on you. I've sat with people I love dearly, and I was around, and I hang out with them all the time. And I was around them and their friends the whole time were just talking about people. Just talking and talking about people, everything about, did you see this girl? Did you see that? Did you see this guy? Can you believe? And I heard 10 minutes of it, and I looked at this person that I love dearly, and I was like, how do you hang around this person and not want to not feel like your brain's going to blow up? Like, this is way too, I was like, I don't even want to stand next to this person when we're walking. I don't even want to be in an earshot of this person. I want to be far enough away when we're walking that I can't hear them speak because it's so dramatic. And they say, sit at a table where people are discussing ideas and thoughts and not people. And, in the sense, you could talk about people and being proud of this or like, oh, I'm so happy. I'm not saying like a mom can't sit at a table and say, I'm so proud of my son. I'm saying, people that are gossiping about people and talking negatively about people. And, have I been a culprit of this? Yeah, I've sat at a table and, I've talked about this person's life and that person and this and that. And I've checked myself recently and I've said, like, if you want to talk about something in your life or a life experience and it has to do with somebody else, then you can speak about it from your experience. But there's a way to talk about something and how it made you feel and what you think about it, and not bash somebody. You don't need to swear about them. You don't need to call them names. You don't need to put them down. You just talk about your experience. And I just feel like when we surround ourselves with people that are gossipers, we start to fall into that. When we're surrounded by drama, we start to fall into that. When we're surrounded by negativity, no matter how positive of a person you are, why would anybody knowingly walk under a cloud and get rained on every day all the time? And so why would you put yourself in a friend or family situation or a significant other situation or a job situation where every day you're around that person or that atmosphere or those people, you feel like you're just getting rained on by a cloud that's following you everywhere? Yeah, I don't like being around negative people. Now, I will try to help you be positive, but there comes a point where you're like, this person just wants to be miserable and I don't want to be around it. And I will try and then I'll excuse myself. I'm not somebody to go, oh, okay, you're negative to, like, everybody has a moment. But when you pay attention and you say, okay, I've known this person for 4 weeks and they've been positive for 3 days. In the other 27 days, they've been negative. And I've tried to help. And the more I've tried to help, the more I've gotten yelled at. The more I've tried to help, the more they're like, stop. And so you have to think about the company you keep. You have to think about the people that you surround yourself with in your life, because they will rub off on you. And if you surround yourself with positivity and goodness and kindness and morals and values and faith, that's a positive thing that's going to rub off on you. Positive things. If you surround yourself with negativity and pessimism and gossip and constant abuse and berating and no one's happy and everybody's miserable, then that's going to rub off on you. So just remember that it's not just about being healthy and taking care of yourself. It's about what you knowingly are willing to expose yourself to. And it's also what you watch and what you listen to. I have found that too. The music that you listen to, that affects you. The shows you watch, the movies you watch, those affect you. So the energy that you put around yourself in so many ways has an effect on your energy. So just be careful about what you're putting yourself around. Fully knowing that some of it can be very good, and some of it can be very detrimental to your health. The company you keep, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero here on Lead. Learn, Evolve, Ad Lib, and Deliver, our signature segment that God helped me create back in 2019, right before the pandemic, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We'll be back on Wake Up Call inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios right after this as we announce our top dog of the week and welcome Cole Swider back to the show after having plenty of conversations with him when he was at Syracuse. This is now our first conversation with him since he joined the ranks of the National Basketball Association and has been around the country living his dream. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McInerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business. Had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There's a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really changed the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servomation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machine, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machine. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I could tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com. And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here every single Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Can't thank you enough for being a part of the show here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. It truly means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to all of our wonderful people that we have the blessing of working with, including Servomation. So we thank you for being here with us where sports meets that thing called life. I am honored and I am privileged to be here on the broadcast this morning with someone that I've considered a friend over the years, somebody who played at Syracuse and has now found his way over the years into the NBA and stayed in the NBA. Two things that are very difficult to do. One, to make it. Two, to continue to be there. So you've seen him with the Detroit Pistons, the Miami Heat, the Los Angeles Lakers, and most recently with the Toronto Raptors, my team, since their institution of coming into the league in 1995. And so without further ado, it's my honor and my privilege to welcome Cole Swider to the broadcast. But before I do that, I told him I have a little surprise for him. Top Dog of the Week comes to you every single week on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and our Top Dog of the Week is where I get to honor either an individual or an organization, a team, a business, whoever I'd like. and tell you why I'm honoring them for that week and why they're getting the spotlight. Well, my top dog of the week, proudly presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare in East Syracuse here in central New York, is Cole Swider. And it's Cole because he banked on himself. He believed in himself. He's somebody who came to Syracuse from Villanova, decided to make a change, decided to make a move. And when he made that move to come to Syracuse, he believed that that was going to be a good experience for him, a good chapter in his life. And when he took that chapter in his life and he made that move to Syracuse, he did the best that he could. He fought for the team, and we saw a lot of things come from Cole and a lot of great moments come while he was in Syracuse Orange after having his moments in Villanova Blue. And from there, he thought, you know what? I can do this. I can go to the NBA. I could show him what I'm worth. I believe that I have enough skill and talent, and I have the work ethic to make it. And when he banked on himself and he bet on himself, he went to the NBA, and we have seen him succeed. We have seen him make rosters. We've seen him have time, and he's had longevity. So it is my honor and my privilege, like I said before, to call him a friend, and also an honor and privilege to call Cole Swider our top dog of the week because he chased his dreams and he caught them. Cole, how we doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you so much for that, man. That means a lot. Obviously, I really enjoyed my year at Syracuse and getting to interact with you and all the media members in Syracuse. So, yeah, man, happy to be on the show, and all glory to God, man.
Absolutely. And that's another thing, too, Cole, and why I'm happy to call you our top dog of the week, is that you mention God and you give it back to God. What can you say about your faith and why you are unafraid to talk about God publicly?
Yeah, I think he's just done so many great things in my life, man. And I think everything that's happened in my life has shown me God's glory and grace, right? As believers, we're not perfect. We're just like the next person, but we believe that there's a figure in our life that's pushing us in the right direction. And my faith and the people that God has led me to has been such an amazing. It's been such an amazing thing in my life, and I think Syracuse was a God decision. I met so many great people at Syracuse, and including Pastor William Payne, who runs the FCA for Syracuse University Athletics, and yeah, it was just such a great experience. So like I said, God has continued to show me His favor in my life, and I'm just so blessed and thankful that Syracuse was in that journey for me.
And Cole, when you said going to Syracuse was a God decision, go into that a little bit deeper and why you believe that.
Yeah, I think at Villanova, I had a great time, but I was going through a tough time as well. And after 3 years, I was still in the time where a lot of people weren't transferring. Yeah. A lot of people after 3 years probably would have stuck it out. And I remember just praying about it and knowing that I had a good situation at Villanova, but wanting more for myself and knowing that I deserved more, and wanted to take a leap of faith and hoping that Syracuse was going to be a school that was still going to be interested, that hoping that some of these schools that recruited me in high school would still be interested after my time at Villanova. And it's funny how God works, man. The first school that called me when I went into the portal was Syracuse. And I talked to GMAC and Coach Boeheim, and it was like I was in high school all over again. And it was just such an easy decision just to go there. And obviously we didn't have the year that we wanted, wins and losses, but it was such a great experience to be with such great guys, with Jimmy, with Buddy, with Joe, with Jesse Edwards, with some of the walk-ons, Patty Casey, Nick Giancola, Chris Laval, right? Like just having all these great relationships and understanding that this was bigger than basketball at the end of the day was just it just felt like it was bigger than just a worldly decision.
You know, and you not only brought up your teammates, but you mentioned them off the cuff easily, and you mentioned walk-ons along with that. I mean, that speaks a lot, Cole, to your character, and I'd love to go a little bit more into that, why you are not just somebody who's on a team, individualistic, thinking about yourself, but the fact that you actually care about the team aspect and that you pay attention. Because I could say I've had a lot of people on the show, and I haven't always heard people say, the names of the walk-ons and just have them roll off their tongue so easily. Why is it important for you to have intentional relationships?
Yeah, I think life is about relationships. I think life is about creating bonds and memories with people, right? I haven't had the luck or fortune or blessing to be with one team in my career, but I have had the luck and fortune throughout my career to meet so many great people along the way. Yeah. And from being on 6 teams in the last 6 years or 5 teams in the last 5 years, I've been able to I feel like just impact so many different people, and so many different people have been able to impact me. And all this really, this thing we call life is about, in my opinion, is creating those relationships, creating deeper bonds, having those deep conversations. And I can say that my time at Syracuse, I don't know who's more lucky than me to be able to name that many people that I'm close with in Syracuse just from my 1 year there.
Speaking here with Cole Swider, Syracuse Orange alum, also Villanova alum and current NBA player. Cole, you and I mean, you speak on relationships and that life is about that. You have always kept in touch with me, and I've kept in touch with you over the years. We talked a lot when you were at Syracuse, did interviews together and whatnot. And after the fact, we have continued to have correspondence and to work to have moments like this where we could talk with each other. So I want to ask you this personally because I value it and I appreciate it. Why text me back when I text you? Why call me when I call you? Why keep this channel alive as well?
I thought you always treated me well at Syracuse, and you're always fair to me and my teammates. You didn't look at our wins and losses as how you're going to judge us, right? And that's something I really, really appreciated about you, Dan. And yeah, and obviously I want to keep these relationships in Syracuse alive. I always like coming back every single summer and going to the CBT and working out with Red and the guys and seeing the team every single year. So I think it's a multitude of things, but I think your character speaks for itself. I really enjoyed speaking with you when I was in Syracuse, and like I said before, it's deeper than just a basketball relationship. And I feel like a lot of times in these media relationships, it can be when it's good, it's good, and when it's bad, it's you're the worst player ever. And I never felt like you crossed that line or you were judging us based off of our performance. You understood the human aspect as well.
Well, Cole, very kind words, and I will work to continue to earn those every day. But I would say to you, I appreciated that. I always appreciated the open door policy. You've never had the ego from my point of view. I've never seen the Cole Swider who's in college and now he's in the NBA, so he forgot about everybody that talked to him. He forgot about the people that care about him, that wanted to see him do well. Some people move and take a step in their life, and when they take that step up, they leave all the people that were trying to build them up and help them to that next step. And then there's people like you where you've never forgotten that. You've been in the NBA for years. You've been in a lot of different places, as you've mentioned and I've mentioned, but you've never, to me, lost your character. You've never lost your appreciation, and you've never gotten that ego where you don't answer phone calls, you don't respond to text messages, and you don't care. And I want to say to you for that I appreciate that the Cole that I met so many years ago, I still feel like that's the Cole that I get to talk to on the phone today, who appreciates their blessings, who cares about the people that are there for them, and who hasn't lost sight of who they are. And I think because of that, you're successful. And I think because of that, Cole, you're always going to be successful.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it, man. It's, like I said, it's all glory to the man above. And I hope to be a light to a lot of people and be a leader and a role model for these kids coming up. So
Lakers, Pistons, Heat, Raptors, I would love to get your thoughts on the places that you've been, the teams you've been with, and those experiences as you've had the opportunity to be with a bunch of different NBA franchises and, like you said, get to build a lot of relationships.
Yeah, no, it's been an amazing experience, man. My first year playing with the Lakers was unbelievable. My childhood dream was to play with LeBron James, and to be able to call him a teammate and be able to hang around him for a year and ask him questions and be in that organization was was an unbelievable experience and one that I hold close to my heart. I felt like I grew a lot that year, and I was able to kind of understand the NBA. I signed a 2-year non-guaranteed deal with the team, and I got let go in the middle of the summer from the Lakers. And during that time, I had a bunch of teams reach out, not to sign me to a deal right away, but to invite me to training camp. So I signed a training camp deal with the Miami Heat. And Miami had me come out in August and work out for 2 months before training camp started. And during that time, I was just super locked in, super focused. And the Miami Heat, of the organization that we hear about, is all of that stuff is true, man. The conditioning, the hard work, the mentality. And I felt right at home in Miami. Had a great experience heading into training camp and played really well in training camp and was able to earn another spot on their roster. I felt like I had a great year in Miami, was really taking stride, and after Summer League, they decided to go a different direction. And during that time, I signed a training camp contract with the Pacers. Went through training camp with the Pacers, had a decent training camp, and then got signed to a full spot with the Detroit Pistons. And then spent half a year with the Pistons and had a great experience there, and then got to finish up the year with the Toronto Raptors, which is a great organization as well. Got my first real taste of real NBA minutes, playing 8 games at the end of the season for them. I'm averaging 25 minutes or 20 minutes a game and 8 points a game, 4 rebounds, and truly feeling like I was able to show that I could play in the league a little bit. So, like you said, like this, I've been with a bunch of teams, I've been with a bunch of organizations, been able to see how the NBA works inside and out, in my opinion. Man, I'm just trying to make it to that next team, that next organization, and truly just cement myself in the NBA, right? And I'm out here in LA right now, working out, trying just to improve myself every single day and get ready for the summer and season coming up.
Yeah, Cole, and 2 final notes here. One, now that you've been in the NBA and you've made rosters, what can you say you've learned about what goes into it beyond sheer talent? What would you say truly are the right ingredients of making an NBA team?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with fit. A team needs to have a need for your skill set. Obviously, my skill set has been patented as an elite shooter, and all these teams have felt like I could add something to their roster by having me on their team. And then I think a lot of it has to do with character and hard work as well. There's 2 or 3 stars on every single team, and everyone else has to be an elite role player, elite at what they do. And I feel like I've been blessed enough to try and show that I can be elite in that role of shooting, and then trying to improve all other aspects of my game. So I think the ingredients are pretty simple, but at the same time, it's really, really hard to accomplish those things at times, and make sure that, because a lot of times it is subjective, right? It's based off of 1 or 2 people's opinions at the top of the organization for you to make the team or stick with the team. So I think it's just finding the right fit, the right organization, and someone that's going to truly believe in me and take that next step of me continuing to sustain this NBA career.
And that last note, going off of what you just said, what keeps you in it? What keeps you hungry and going? Like you said, you make a roster, and then you're in summer league, and you're working again, and you're getting a training camp opportunity, getting signed by another team, then moving on to another team during the season. What keeps you chasing after these dreams?
Man, I think my greatest gift I can give back to God is to reach my potential, and I truly feel like I have a lot more to give. I feel like I have a lot more to accomplish. I think I'm an NBA player through and through. I know I'm an NBA player through and through, and I'm just going to continue to work and accomplish that goal. I know that basketball isn't everything at the end of the day, but it's something where I feel like I can lead through God's arms and heart and be able to share His message on this platform. So I just feel like it's a blessing to be able to play this game, and I'm just going to continue to play to the best of my ability until God shuts that door for me.
A lot of faith, a lot of hard work, a lot of determination, and a lot of confidence and belief in yourself. Cole, a lot of wonderful messages shared with people here this morning, and I know you and I will talk again soon, but as always, man, appreciate your friendship more than anything else. Thank you for keeping in touch over the years, and God bless to you and your family, and I can't wait to see the team that makes the right decision and puts Cole Swider on that roster.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it again. Hope all is well. Hope you're holding down the fort in Syracuse, and I know nicer weather's coming in Syracuse. So I'll talk to you soon, Dan, and have a good one.
All right, thanks, Cole. I appreciate it. Have fun out in LA, and I'll talk to you in a bit.
All right, I'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Take care. That coming from Cole Swider once again here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. And happy that we got an opportunity to speak with Cole. You know, this was so a long time in the making. You know, him and I have kept in touch, and over the years, he's been in different places and trying to figure out scheduling and seeing what we can do to talk with each other. And we've always kept in touch with each other. And when I reach out, I will eventually hear back from Cole, and I'm happy we got to do this. I really am. And he said a lot here today, and he put it all to God. And he ended it with what he said. You know, I'm going to keep working, keep getting after it, keep doing what he can. He said, I believe I'm an NBA player. I know that I'm an NBA player. And he said, I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep going after it until God shuts the door for me. So to say everything that he said and to take all that personal responsibility and say, I'm going to go out there and do what I can, and I'm going to fight for what I can, and have that final note be, you know, until God tells me no, right? To have that faith and that trust in God. You know, I'm going to do everything I possibly can, hope God tells me yes. And the day that God says to me, all right, you know what, it's time to do something else, and I'm going to trust that. But I'm going to keep going. And to have that faith, to have that belief in yourself and that belief in God, he's going to be successful. Cole's going to be successful because with faith, hard work, dedication, determination, and trust, you're not going to fail. And he hasn't. He's been amazing. And I thought about it when he left. I was like, oh, you know, like, is he going to make it? You know, is this going to be? Because, you know, we see these guys come out of Syracuse, and I want all of them to make it, and I want all of them to succeed that want to be in the NBA. I want that to happen, and you don't know. You know, it's like we saw them for a year. Did they see enough? What can happen? Because other guys, they get told things, and they go into the draft, and maybe it was too early, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. The fact that Cole has been successful has been above and beyond. And it's been beautiful to see. It's been wonderful to see. I'm so happy for him. And, you know, I love it. And I love today that as I'm getting him on the show to congratulate him and to talk about him and make him our top dog of the week presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare and really just celebrate everything he's done and everything he's achieved that's above and beyond, and it's just a beautiful thing. Like, you know, to me, it's like you always hope these guys make a team that they get to play for a little while. He's gone beyond anything that, you know, I was going to see here, right? You know, that I want to see these guys make it. I want to see them play as long as they possibly can. I want them to make the decision when they're done, not somebody to make it for them. And, you know, seeing him with a Heat jersey on, seeing him with a Lakers jersey on, you know, now in this Raptors picture that you're seeing here. And like you said, to play 8 games and finish off the season and really get to show the NBA what he could do, to play 20 minutes a game, to have 8 points and 4 rebounds, you know, to truly help a team has been amazing. And so here I am prepared to say, man, this is above and beyond anything that, you know, I thought could maybe happen here, because I feel like, you know, so many guys try to make it and they make it for a little while, or they try here and there, and then maybe it's the G League and maybe it's overseas, and there's nothing wrong with that. The G League's been incredible. I think the G League provides a lot of awesome experiences. Nick Nurse won in the G League, and then he came to the Raptors and won an NBA championship, their only NBA championship. And I didn't think they would do it without Dwayne Casey. They did it with Nick Nurse, and I thought that was incredible. They did it with 2 guys that played in the G League on that Toronto Raptors team that were on the G League, the Raptors 905 before. And so to see Cole do this, I'm like, if he makes it to the G League, I'm going to be proud. He makes it overseas, I'm going to be proud. And I'm seeing him with NBA jerseys on his body and seeing him out there in games making it happen. Could not be happier. Truly amazing, incredible. And like I said, as I'm here today thinking I'm celebrating him, I'm going to talk about him, it's going to be about how great this story has been and just how it's barely been written, right? There's so much more to write. And he thanks God. And he talks about God. And he talks about his faith. And he talks about what God has done in his life. And now, how can you not root for Cole even more? Right? I'm rooting for Cole because I like him as a human being. I like being around him. I appreciate our bond. I appreciate my bond with everybody that I've ever gotten to talk with. And here he comes today, and it's all about the big guy. It's all about God. It's what God can do in his life, what God has done in his life, the blessings he's had, and the appreciation he has for those blessings. And I can't help but sit here and say, Cole continues to surprise me in the best of ways. And that faith is going to carry you. If you're still listening, Cole, that faith is going to carry you. It's going to bring you to places that nobody thought you could go. It's going to bring you to places you didn't even think of. It's going to bring you to the top of a mountain that you didn't even know you're going to climb. And then you're going to climb another one. And then you're going to climb another one. And you're a young person in society. You have so much more to give this world, and I can't wait to see what you're going to give it. And I'm proud of you, and I'm happy for you. And like I said, I'm honored to call you a friend. I'm honored to count you as somebody that I have a relationship with. And I really appreciate his kind words that he said to me today. It means a lot because that's exactly the person that I'm working to be and what I want the players to see. And the fact that he saw that really means a lot to me. When he said, hey, this is not, you're not about wins and losses. You never crossed a line that media crosses. You care about us. You cared about my teammates. You respected me. You respected that you treated them well. You treated me well. We saw that. We saw the relationship that you build, the way that you go about your job. And that is everything that I'm trying to do, Cole. And the fact that you saw that, it means a lot to me. And I value that because I'm not just representing myself. I'm representing the God that created me. There's only one God. And I'm representing him. And I'm representing my grandparents and my parents that have raised me. I'm representing the people that have believed in me. It's not just about me. It's about getting a seat at the table for a bunch of other people that weren't supposed to be there, that don't deserve the seat, quote unquote, right? And I'm sure Cole's felt that way sometimes, and I felt that way sometimes. So when I sit here and I have a conversation with somebody that gives all the glory to God, and then I have conversations last night talking about God at Tully's with CBA softball, and a coaching staff that 100% gives all glory to God. And my mom calls me this morning, and she's so excited. She's like, I want to hear about Tully's, and I had to go to bed, and I really wanted to be there last night, but I had to go to work early in the morning. And my mom would be there, and she was there in spirit. My mom was there when she was sleeping. I know she was. And but my mom has to work really early. She has to get up at like 2 something in the morning. And I left there last night at like 9 something. So, but my mom today, I wanted to call you. Like, I was so excited to tell my mom and dad how last night went. And my mom like beat me to it. She's like, are you up? Can I talk to you? And then she called me up and wanted to talk about it. And so, I feel God moving mountains. And again, like, Cole is one of the most successful former Syracuse players in the NBA to go over these last few years and be wearing NBA jerseys and making rosters. I cover Summer League, and I've spent years when they had it down in Orlando being there and interviewing guys, and so many of those guys didn't necessarily make any teams in the NBA or G League teams. And so for Cole to make anything is a win. For him to be on a bunch of different rosters, and he's working out in LA now and getting ready for a hopeful Summer League opportunity. So he'll be out in Vegas with all 30 NBA franchises. Like, I am so happy for him. And I'm kind of speechless because God has been so good in his life, and I just know that God is going to be even better. And I love that we got to talk today about that. So there's so much good to come. And for those of you that are watching and listening, I want you to know that, like, you'll be underestimated. Sometimes you're going to underestimate yourself, and you're going to make it. Like, you're going to be okay. If you have faith in God and you have faith in yourself, you will not fail. You won't. You know, and people are like, oh, like, what did you fail at? I'm like, I don't think I really have ever failed at anything, because if I'm trying and I'm giving my all, to me, I already won. You know, I try and I give my all and I ask somebody out and they say no. I had the guts to ask them out. How many people are going to sit there staring at them, not say a word to them, right? I didn't get any of the jobs I applied for out of college, but I had the guts to send the applications, and I kept going when I didn't get any yeses. So to me, that's a win. The fact that I sent out 91 applications and 41 were to television stations, and I didn't get hired at any TV stations or any radio stations straight out of college, and I kept fighting, and then I got a radio station, and then I got another radio station, and then I got another radio station, and then I got another radio station, and I got a job online. Like, 91 applications, nothing. 41 applications at TV stations, 40 no responses, and one response postcard from a place in Connecticut that said, thank you for applying. We don't have any openings right now, but we really appreciate it. Which I consider it was a very nice note. I believe I kept the postcard, actually. And Joe Zone, who used to be in Syracuse, actually working at that radio station. I hope he's still there. I hope things are still going well. Or the TV station, pardon me. So, you know, I look back on the no's or the no answers or the ghosting or the no response, and everything that happened after that was good. So to me, there is no failure. And to me, for Cole, there's no failure, right? You went to Villanova. You did what you did for 3 years. You came to Syracuse for 1. You went to the NBA. You played for 4 different teams. And there's no negativity in that. And he keeps going. I got a chance here. I'm going to keep going. You know, I got a chance here. And now I'm a free agent again. Every time he's a free agent, he keeps working, he gets on another team. Every time he's got to go to training camp, he goes to training camp, he gets on another team. Every time he's got to go to summer league to prove himself, he goes to summer league, proves himself, gets on another team. You know, life is about the adversity. It's about who you become in the adversity. Because no matter how pretty you are, how kind you are, how romantic you are, how funny you are, somebody that you ask out is going to say no. Someone's going to cheat on you. Someone's going to leave you. Someone's going to make no sense and treat you like absolute garbage. Doesn't matter who you are. It's who they are. And you might be qualified, overqualified for a job that you don't get hired for. And it's a decision that they make. It doesn't mean that you're not qualified. You might do everything that you need to do, and it doesn't work out. And I was talking to Mike Cusano, the head coach of the softball team at CBA yesterday. Well, by the way, God bless to them in the playoffs coming up tomorrow. And him and I were talking, and I said, you know what Bible passage keeps following me like all the time? I said, it's the Bible passage. If it's in God's will, it will happen, and nothing will stop it. If it's not in God's will, then God has a better plan. Have faith in knowing this. Like, if it doesn't happen, then it's not in God's will. So if it's meant to be, it'll be. If it's not meant to be, then something better is coming. And I had seen that, and I had heard that advice from my parents and other people in my life, and I didn't believe it, and I didn't believe it, and I didn't believe it. And then I went through a hard time, and that Bible verse kept finding me. And it was the one thing that when I was trying to fall asleep at night, I would just keep saying it to myself. And it's the one thing that would soothe me. And I found this positive thing from God that soothed me. And I leaned into it, and it just continued to soothe me, and it soothes me to this day. If it's meant to happen, it'll happen, and nothing will stop it. If it's not meant to be, then God has a better plan. Have peace in knowing this. So when things don't work out and you did everything you possibly could for it to work out, instead of sitting there and banging your head against the wall and being like, why didn't they choose me? Why didn't I get this job? Why didn't this? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why didn't this team keep me? If they liked me, then they told me this, that, and the third. Why am I a free agent? Just keep going. Cole Swider's biggest strength below his faith is his resilience, his response to adversity, his belief in himself, the fact that he keeps going. That's why he continues to be successful, because he's not going to hear no and say, okay. He's going to hear no and say, okay, now I'm going to work for the next yes. And that's all I've done in business. I think any business owner would tell you that. You don't necessarily get the first building that you wanted to get. You don't necessarily get the clients all the time that you ask. You don't necessarily hire you hire someone and you think something and they turn into something else, or they were always that thing and you didn't know. You don't know what life is going to bring you. You just have to bring it to life every time. You don't know what life is going to bring you, but you got to bring it. You got to bring it every single time. People will fail you. Opportunities won't work out. Things that you thought were good may turn sour, or they may be sour the whole time. But the reality is, if you keep fighting and you keep going after it, that's your power. That's your strength. That is what's going to make you successful. In my opinion, Cole Swider has exceeded expectations. And at the same time, I don't think he's even barely gotten to the half of it yet. So I'm excited for him. And I love telling these stories because I'm proud. I'm proud to know these people. I'm proud to know people that believe in God, trust God, talk about God, love themselves, believe in themselves, trust in themselves, have faith in themselves, and work hard and go after their dreams. And don't say, well, I wish I coulda, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. I don't live in that world. And Cole doesn't either. So I know it's a long-winded top dog of the week, but he deserves it. So God bless you, Cole. Thank you for everything you do, and thanks for giving all the glory to God. You will always be successful. It always will work out. In some way, shape, or form, you're going to be all right. And I'm proud of you. And I send you my love, and I send it to your family, and we'll talk soon. God bless you, buddy. We'll take a step aside for a fast break here inside of Wake Up Call in the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. When we come back, I will have the opportunity to bring another exclusive to you in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. I will have their new women's soccer head coach doing his first ever interview since accepting the position. He will join me next here on Wake Up Call, and I am so very happy to have Tim Marchisotto joining me here on Wake Up Call for the first time ever as we make history together where sports meets life. So stay with us. We'll be back after this fast break with Bryant Stratton College and an all-new Bobcat Buzz exclusive right after this.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the Whole Frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to K-9 Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see K-9 Campground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call K-9 Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9Campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to K9 Campground.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvel Light. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvel Light ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks you will find on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. They are open for you Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. And there you'll find hockey, soccer, basketball, baseball, football cards, and more, including Disney Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh! While supplies last. They have graded cards, singles, packs, and boxes. So you could buy something that you're looking right there, seeing it and saying, that's what I want. Or you can try and see what you'll get in a pack or a box. It's kind of like Christmas morning any day that you go to GG Cards and Breaks when you're opening packs and boxes. So I always suggest doing that. And if you've never tried it before, I'm telling you, once you open a pack or a box of cards, you're going to want to do it again and again. And GG Cards and Breaks does a great job of keeping us big kids all the time. So go and see them today. Wonderful people. And it starts with Josh and Anthony on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, right off at Teal Ave. And they are open once again Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6 and on Sundays from 10 to 5. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. I appreciate you being here with us, and I am honored to have the last part of today's show inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios to be able to connect with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. You know that we do this all throughout the year. We are their exclusive multimedia marketing partner. So telling the story of Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse means the world to me, and it's something that I feel very blessed to do. I can't believe that we are past 3 years of working together already, but they truly do. They mean it when they say that time flies when you're having fun. And on today's broadcast, A Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I have the opportunity to continue that fun and continue those conversations and those exclusives by celebrating one of their newest hires, and that is Tim Marchisotto, is how you say it in Italian, folks, just like Tortora. So you know it as Marchisotto for the Americanized version of it. But when he told me it was Marchia, and when he said that's how we started out, I was like, all right, you know what? From an Italian to an Italian, I have a job to do this morning, and that's to say this name correctly. So with that being said, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, we have the new women's soccer head coach at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. And here in this exclusive conversation, his first since accepting the job, we have none other than Tim Marchisotto here with us. Tim, how are we doing this morning?
I'm great. How are you doing, Dan? Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Did I say it right, Tim? Did I get it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So happy to have you here on the broadcast here this morning as we have Tim Marchisotto here with us on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, in this exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, the exclusive interview with the new head coach of women's soccer. And Tim, first and foremost, why? What was it about Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse that made you want to say yes?
That's a great question. One of the things was the vision of the athletic department with our AD, Brooke Parro. Just her vision for what she wanted to, achieve was, inspiring, invigorating. They also recently hired a new men's coach, Stuart Flaherty, somebody that, I've known for years back when he was with, Dartmouth. So, having a strong foundation of leadership and somebody that I've worked with, before, and both Stu and I feel that, success for one is success for all within, the soccer program and, in general. And I think Syracuse is a great, market. I think, there's a lot to build upon the past success of the program and the previous staff. So I think it's a great opportunity and a great challenge.
Yeah, and you said, speaking with Brooke Parro, the new athletic director at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, that it was something about, her energy, what she brought to it, what you heard from her. How would you describe, her personality? And when you were sitting with her, talking with her, discussing this opportunity, what was it about that personality and about the way that she's tackling her job as the head of the athletic department that really spoke to you and your personality?
I've been doing this upcoming season will be my 27th year of coaching college soccer, and I've coached at all levels. So I've worked with a lot of different, athletic directors, and all at different, stages, in their career. And I think the operative, word, that you've heard me just say is new men's coach, new athletic director, new women's. So there's that desire, to be successful. There is that energy that, that she brought, in our initial conversations. It was very infectious. So for, Brooke being a former, athlete, I think, which is, important, and having even a background in, in soccer, it really helped shape our conversations, that I felt like we were talking on the same page. Brooke is somebody that, wants to support and help, and be a part of the, of the team. And I think that's another operative word. We've got a team, a new assistant athletic director in Clay, and the success that he's had with the men's basketball program. So it just seemed like an opportunity where we've got a whole bunch of people all pushing, the same direction. And that's not always the way it is. Sometimes, within programs, everybody's very individualistic and concerned with just their program. And here, I think that this is going to be a big push, department-wide for all of our sports, for our student athletes here at Bryant and Stratton. And, I really just felt, that what she was saying, what her vision is something that we're actually going to be able to accomplish.
Yeah, and for this, like you said, over 25 years of coaching collegiate soccer in all different levels. So from these 25 years plus 27, you said altogether at this point, what have been the things that maybe you take with you in that toolbox? I'm sure there's a lot over time, but when you look at almost 3 decades of coaching, what have been some of those key ingredients that you've seen? Hey, at any level, wherever I am, whoever I'm coaching, these ingredients seem to work where I go.
Well, you talk about, you have to have, an administration that supports, athletics. And then within the athletic department, again, that synergy, between everybody that's in there. Athletics can be, a great, enrollment, tool, for colleges, but it's just to add, to the, the community at large. Obviously at all schools at athletics, we have, non-student athletes, student athletes, making sure that, that there's a community that supports each other, that they're not, two separate ones. There is a lot of, when you talk about the ingredients for success, one of the things that I've realized right away here at Bryant and Stratton is just, the support system that's in place for all of our students. From the monitoring of the process of right in the beginning of a semester. Obviously, for non-athletes, we're in a trimester situation. For athletes, we're obviously in semesters. But just seeing the level of care and concern, and like I said, the help for the students to be successful. Those will take care of the stuff on the field. Having that support system on the academic side, I think, is huge, and that's going to allow us to be successful on the field.
Yeah, and Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, I mean, you speak on the athletic department, and you speak on Brooke Parro, and a lot of newness, and Clay coming in as the new assistant AD, and obviously having started the women's basketball program and now the men's basketball head coach. When you look at the academic side, the student and student athlete, what have you come to know about Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse that you feel like is good? Because when you're recruiting, you're not just recruiting to bring them onto the field, you're recruiting to make sure that they can make something of their life after soccer and that they're doing something that they're interested in. So what can you say to the academic piece of Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse that you think is marketable, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things when you're recruiting and talking about the academic side is again, that support. That's something that, student athletes, want to know that they have. Certainly our array of, majors, Bryant Stratton, Syracuse is a unique situation where we offer both associate's degrees, and then a bachelor's degree. So it can be where students have the opportunity, to come to us, for 2 years and potentially move on, generally in a recruiting conversation, if they're looking at a major where we have the associates, but not the bachelor's, it kind of becomes that, that two and out. We are very much a 4-year program, but, it'll change our recruiting cycle. A little bit. It's kind of a hybrid, between a 2-year and a 4-year, school as far as your recruiting goes. But having all the different associate's degrees, I think is great. I think having a small student to faculty ratio. So, our student athletes and students as a whole, are just going to be in a good learning environment. I think that they're going to get to know their professors. Professors are going to get to know, them, and that doesn't always happen, at big schools. Big schools, there can be lectures with 500 plus. The professor doesn't know you, you don't know them. Here, I think it's an opportunity really for the whole campus to get to know our students and vice versa. And that's going to be great for, recommendations when moving on for work or any advanced degrees, past the bachelor's. So it's just when you're at a small school, you have the opportunity to have the whole community, behind you and helping you and knowing you. And I've seen that in the very short time that I've been here, looking at, listening to the stories at graduation, seeing the pictures that just had, and, the people hugging and crying. It shows that there was a meaningful connection, a meaningful experience, here at Bryant Stratton Syracuse.
That coming from Tim Marchisotto, as we say in Italian, and Marchisotto, as we say here in America. So, Tim, for you, I know we're going to have an extended conversation next week on Wake Up Call, and we will be on video together. But I did want to scratch the surface of what you're doing right now, which is working to recruit and put your team together, as well as schedule and make sure that you have something to look forward to and something that these student athletes will be challenged with. So when it comes to both of those things, recruiting and scheduling, where would you say things are at as we look to the fall?
Yeah, I think they're in very good shape. I mean, our goal is to, go to the national tournament and win a national championship. That's what it should be. So, we are returning a great core group of players, along with a two-time player of the year in Tater, and we're just so happy that she's going to be back, and the ability to build around the nucleus, that we have. So it's adding pieces to the puzzle to help for us to make a deeper run at nationals than what we previously have. And like I said, the goal is to win a national championship. So from a scheduling standpoint, to ensure that we have quality games that are going to, prepare us, for that late season, push at a championship. So we're going to have some games that are going to be, probably more challenging. I think we'll have a harder schedule, this year, but that's a challenge that we can meet. And it's just going to prepare us to win a championship.
And we know that in the past, the home games for Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse were at Jones Road on the outdoor fields. Is that a continuation, or is there any change or thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, as of now, that's where our home facility, is. Again, talking about the vision of some things that we want to do. They're definitely, we'll be looking at, other options in the future. And again, to enhance the student athlete experience and just our fan base, experience. Jones Road is a beautiful, grass field. Nowadays, we are playing more on, turf at most facilities than grass. But nevertheless, I mean, I view if you're a team that plays on grass where other teams don't, I think it can be, an advantage when you practice and play on grass, the weight of passes, whatnot. Teams that play on turf, again, the speed of play can be a little bit different when you transfer to grass and vice versa. But, for us, Jones Road is the home, as it is for going into next year. But I think, part of Brooks' vision is to definitely pursue some other opportunities in the future. And I think we have some, potential exciting options, for the future.
Tim Marchisotto here with us in this exclusive first conversation with the new Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse Bobcats women's soccer head coach. Tim, I'm going to leave a lot to be discovered as we're going to have, like I said, our extended conversation next week, but I wanted to give you the final word here this morning on what you would like people to know about you as you are coming into this Syracuse, New York community. And like you said, Stuart Flaherty, the men's soccer head coach that is also new to Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, and you've crossed paths with him before. But to the Syracuse Central and upstate New York community, what would you like them to know as I give you the final word this morning?
Yeah, two things. One, we're going to have a great competitive, season, and we very much, want to continue to, be a part of the community. We're definitely going to be having some clinics for the community, some more open, tryouts. What I want to see is, some more local players on our roster, some more players from, upstate New York on our roster, and just New York in general. So, the last thing, for today is that we're here, we're going to be visible, we're going to be a part of the community. We want the community to be more, a part of our team and Bryant Stratton. I'm just really excited for those opportunities.
Music to my ears. That coming here from Tim here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios and in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. I look forward to our continuation of this conversation, Tim. I thank you for allowing me to tell your story here this morning. I like what I'm hearing, and I like the connection to the community, and I very much am excited about breaking this down even deeper and getting to the nitty-gritty of it. More than anything else, I'm looking forward to coming to practice and seeing what this looks like in action. So thank you for your time today, and I look forward to talking with you very soon.
Dan, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you today.
All right, Tim, take care. Be well, and I'll talk to you soon.
You got it. Bye-bye.
Take care. That coming from Tim, once again, Marchisotto, but the Italian way to say it, Marchisotto. That's why I said it both ways. People might say, why are you saying the last name in two different ways? Because just like Tortora is the Americanized version, if you go to Italy, which my dad and I just had the blessing of doing, if you say Tortora, because there's a place in Italy called Tortora, and those of you that followed us on our social media, you saw that I went and visited the place that has the same name as my last name. If you say to someone, we're trying to go to Tortora, they looked at my dad like, what? And he's like, yeah, we're trying to go Tortora. And then Tortora, oh, Tortora, sí. And then and then we go from there. So it's the same thing, right? So I want to make sure that as Dan Tortora is the American way of saying my name. Tortora is how you say it in Italian. Marchisotto the American way, Marchisotto the Italian way of saying it. So I wanted to make sure that we respected the heritage and paid some homage to that. So thanks to Tim, and thanks for him being a part of the broadcast. And we would have had plenty more to say this morning, but we are going to have an extensive conversation. So this is the exclusive first conversation with Tim Marchisotto since accepting the job as the women's soccer head coach at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. And the extension of this exclusive will continue on video, picture-in-picture next week. And stay tuned to all of our social media to find out when that broadcast is going to happen. So, with that being said, I want to thank you all for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in a jam-packed show this morning. Wherever you were, we appreciate you up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe. We have worked to be a local, regional, national, and international show, and thanks to you, we have made that happen. So I couldn't do it without you. By the grace of God, by the guidance of God, and by the listenership of you, we have gotten to be local, regional, national, and international. And I couldn't call myself any of those things if you weren't watching and listening. So thank you for that love and support. I cannot thank you enough, and I appreciate it greatly to everyone who has been with us on youtube.com and facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. God is great. Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, YouTube. All you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT, on any one of these outlets. Make sure to download us, follow us, subscribe. It's all free on these outlets. And of course, you can ask your Alexa or Google Home device to play the latest episode of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and they will do that for you as well. Big time thanks to the Brooklyn Pickle down in the wonderful state of North Carolina. Make sure that you head out to the Brooklyn Pickle today for those of you down in North Carolina and the Pinehurst area. Appreciate you so very much. On 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina, you will find the wonderful Brooklyn Pickle and those awesome flavors and great sandwiches and all of the, they give you so much food, and you can't say that about a lot of places anymore. You get a lot of food when you go out to Brooklyn Pickle. If you order a half, it's a whole. If you order a whole, it's 2 sandwiches. So make sure you go out there today and enjoy some Brooklyn Pickle in Southern Pines on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina, and let them know that DT sent you. Many thanks to our wonderful team of partners in Central and Upstate New York. I cannot thank you all enough. Big time shout out to the family that we have here with Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Breaks, Servomation, Avicoli's, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, as well as K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Mother's Cupboard, Pizza Man, Brian's Landing, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Dolphins every Wednesday during Dolphin Time right here on Wake Up Call, where sports meets life. The Dolphins are with you with student athletes, coaches, administration, future Dolphins, and alumni. You can find it all by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Lemoyne playlist. You'll also find the Dolphins by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com and Fins Up. The Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bobcats in the Bobcat Buzz every single month, like today, with exclusives featuring men's and women's soccer, baseball, and men's and women's basketball. And, of course, our leadership segments that we've done with Mary Hawkins and Brooke Parro. Appreciate those very, very much as well, including the one that we got to do in the national tournament when we were in Buffalo, New York, with the men's basketball team being the #1 seed in the entire country. You can find all of our Bobcat Buzz episodes by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, find the BSC Syracuse playlist. You also find your Bobcats on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bearcats every Tuesday during Bearcat Time, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time worldwide. Student athletes, coaches, administration, and alumni joining me right here from the Bearcat family. And you can get all of our content with Binghamton by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Binghamton playlist. You'll also find the Bearcats on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. With that being said, many thanks inside of Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com's What's Poppin'. Go and get your snacks at Ma and Pa's today, 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. And if you're outside of Central New York, you can order these snacks and have them delivered to your business and your household, as well as to the homes of the people that you love by going to Ma and Pa's Popcorn.com. Big time thanks to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week and for the cakes that they provided to CNS for our special broadcast that we did, our live on-site broadcast, making history with Cicero North Syracuse as the first high school in central and upstate New York to ever have a live podcast. And we didn't do one, we did 8 live broadcasts that day, so we made history times 8. And many thanks to Carvel for providing cakes to celebrate with the students who were a part of these classes, led in media art by Miss Tracy Lieberman, a wonderful human being. Big time thanks to Chick-fil-A Cicero for lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. With the topic today, the company you keep. Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare, honoring Cole Swider, who we had live, Syracuse Orange alum, and of course, now in the NBA, most recently with the Toronto Raptors. Big time thanks to Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse for making us their exclusive multimedia marketing partner. And many thanks to Tim Marchisotto joining us today for his exclusive first interview since becoming the head coach of the women's soccer team with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse and the Bobcats. And of course, thanks to K-9 Kamp Dog Daycare for the top dog of the week. With that being said, the next time you see me, and for the next 2 weeks, we will be broadcasting live from our second home, my second home personally, and my second home of my business. So professionally and personally, our second home is Florida. And in that Sunshine State, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora will be broadcasting live next week from Orlando and the week after from St. Augustine. So we'll be down in the great state of Florida, and you can continue to see us at 9 a.m. Eastern Time each of those days. I'm going to enjoy my vacation, I promise, but we will also be bringing you content because, well, why not? I love what I do, and I do what I love. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, X at Call DT, Instagram at wakeupcall_DT. Thanks to CBA Softball for our broadcast at Tully's, and thanks to Tully's and Dave Giamartino and the whole Giamartino family. Big time thanks to the Wildcat Sports Pub, to Danny Tome and his entire team, Andrea and everybody there, and thanks to West Jenny Softball. Thank you to Avicoli's, John Fratto and the Avicoli family and everyone at Avicoli's. Of course, many thanks to Liverpool Softball and their team as they move forward. And thanks to everybody that we've gotten to talk to. Thank you to Tracy Lieberman and Cicero North Syracuse. Thank you to Tib Bednarski and all of the administration at CNS for believing in us and for allowing us to make history with your students. This has been a tremendous week. I cannot wait to go on vacation with my mom, and I cannot wait to continue to bring you the content the only way that I know how, with God as my heartbeat and with creation as my paintbrush. So have a beautiful, beautiful day. Be good to each other. Be safe. Be humble. Be kind. Trust in the Lord. Get rid of your egos. Know what God giveth, he can taketh away. So appreciate what you have. Honor God, and you'll keep getting those blessings. So stay blessed. Stay in your faith. Keep trusting. Keep being good to yourself and good to other people. And I promise you, no matter how bleak life may look right now, it's all going to come together. And I just can't thank you all enough for showing me love. Thanks to Paul Gangemi. And if you ever wonder if God is working in your favor and if he's bringing all things together, right? And, you know, for those that work for God, all good things come together. Think about what happened here yesterday night. Paul Gangemi was my elementary school head basketball coach at Our Lady of Pompeii. And now he's the assistant softball coach at CBA. And I've been trying to work with Tully's forever, and I've been wanting to do a show at CBA forever. And it all comes together with softball to jump us off and start things off. And who's the assistant coach? Paul Gangemi. So after 6th grade to now, who do I get to interview? My head coach. And I get to thank him for being one of the teachers in my life. So don't ever think that God isn't working. Think about how long of a trail that was from 6th grade to 39-year-old me to be able to talk to my coach and to have it all come together because everything else worked together through God. So God is beautiful. His domino effect is far better than ours. Keep trusting in him and keep being good to yourself and each other. Have a beautiful day. And as we always say here on Wake Up Call, God bless, no stress. Do your best. We'll talk soon. Have a good weekend.